Hey, everybody, Rick Franks here, Chiropractic Foundations. Welcome to this podcast, our second podcast. It's so great to be here, and I sure hope that you're all, if you're a student, that you're getting through school the way you want to. If you're new in practice, we'll have things for you. And if you're an old timer still wanting to learn or want to maybe pick something up, we are so glad that you're here. You don't even have to be a member of Chiropractic Foundations to be here. So welcome, and I am so glad. I hope you're serving and healing and helping people in one way or another, even if you haven't got that piece of paper yet that says so. So I hope you're happy, and I hope you're being productive, and whatever your goals are, that you are getting closer to reaching them. So as I told you in the first podcast, this is kind of a free form. It's I'm not going by notes. I'm not going to read you anything. I'm just going to go by how I feel and what I think that day. We're going to just talk about a lot of things concerning philosophy, science, art. Very important thing that I think is missing so much from our profession is personal development, and we'll have a lot on that too. So as I interview new people coming out of school, I see where there's a big lack. There's a big lack in wanting to get better at the little things in life. One of the first things I ever learned when I got out of school is that success comes from the mastery of little things. And when you put all the little things together, it works right. All right. But if you miss one little thing, it can be catastrophic. And I'm going to talk about that in a future podcast here, because I just had an experience that I hope I'll never have again. And we'll go over that, and I'll tell you what I learned. Today I want to talk about something a little bit. One of the things, if you are a new member here, one of the things that I've created for you and spent a lot of time on, and I've taken, I'll be honest with you, I've stolen from the best. I've stolen from Brian Tracy, from Zig Ziglar, from Tony Robbins, from Bob Proctor. I took all their best things and I put them into a goal setting process, because, when as I'm thinking here, sitting here thinking that before I started in school, and when I first got this idea, I wanted to be a chiropractor. First of all, I'd never been adjusted, never been to a chiropractor, didn't know what chiropractic was. And I decided to go to school on a whim, because my goal was to be able to help people some way. I didn't want to help them by cutting them open. Didn't like that kind of stuff. I didn't want to help them by loading them up on drugs and making them think that they were healthy. Didn't want to do that. I wanted to help people in some way, but not having to do that. And somebody introduced me, and I'll tell you that story one day. Somebody introduced me to chiropractic, and I decided at the young age of 26, out of college, teaching school, and I decided that it's time for me to get to something I really like. And I set my goal out to go to chiropractic school. That was my goal. My lifetime goal was to go to chiropractic, to make it into chiropractic school. Okay. And the funny thing is, I was thinking about this the other day. I made it. I was accepted to life, and I started. We were in the 8th class, I believe. They hadn't even graduated a class. We were not accredited. I took a flyer, not even knowing that if we weren't accredited, have not been accredited, I wouldn't have been able to practice. So some crazy, wild things that as I look back and go, geez, what would have happened if? But then again, you don't look back, you keep looking forward. So anyhow, I got into school, and I remember that very first class. It was called terminology. And I remember that my first teacher, Dr. Buddy Bean, that was his name. And I remember it was 8 o'clock class. And my goal from getting my purpose, or my goal, my mission, was to get into chiropractic school. At 8:45, my goals changed. My goals changed to getting out of school. All right. So I needed to get out. I needed to get at 26. I realized that I was going to be 29, 30 before I even got into practice, and I was already broke, and they were already raising the tuition fees on me, and I had just got started. So I realized I had to step on the gas. And so my goals changed. And when your goals change, everything else changes in your life. But the thing that didn't change was the dream I had of helping people. And so, yes, you have goals, and a lot of people don't like goals. They say, well, goals are too confining. But if you don't know where you're shooting, if you don't know, if you just take off on a boat and you don't have a rudder on the boat, you don't even know where you're going to end up. All right. You need to know the general direction of where you go. So, one of the things that I've put together for you is not a goal setting course, but a charting course so that you can get more focused on what you want out of life, what you want out of chiropractic, what you want out of life, where you want to go, what do you want to do, what do you want to be, what do you want to have, and what do you want to do. So it's all these things put together, and that's where you have to take some time, sit down, evaluate your life, evaluate where you are, where are you happy, where are you not happy, what can you do to make things better, what can you do to make your life better. All right. And if you're not married, maybe you start needing to figure out what are you looking for in someone, all right, that you can spend the rest of your life with. There's so many things in this process, but 97% of the people in this country don't have goals. They don't have a mission, a purpose statement, anything in their life, nothing. So if you and I were sitting here right now and we were talking and you're saying, yeah, I really want to help people, I really want to do this and that, I would ask you, what's your first of all, what's your philosophy of chiropractic? When I understand what your philosophy is, then I can help you a lot more. Most people don't even understand what their philosophy of chiropractic is. And there's different levels on this philosophy, and we'll cover those down the road a little bit. But right now, if I sat down here and I said, what's your goal in life? All right, what's your mission? What's your purpose? What's your why in life? Why do you get up in the morning? And then I would sit there and listen to what you have to say. And for the most part, and I do this with like new students getting out of school, and looking for a place to practice. And, the first thing I tell them, don't look for a job. Don't look for a job. Look for a place where you can go learn how to do what you want to do. I tell them one of the goals that you should have while you're in practice is go visit at least two offices every quarter. So that by the time you're out of school, you've visited 20, 25 offices, and you've seen, and you start to narrow down so that you see what's possible out there, right? And what you can have in life. So the purpose of this little podcast today is that when you join Chiropractic Foundations, I've gifted you a free goal setting course. All right. It's going to take you a few hours to fill it out. If you do it right, you need some quiet time by yourself, just sitting, thinking, working it out, working what your purpose is in life, working what your goals are, working what your mission statement is. Okay. In other words, you have to figure out now these three things. Once you get these right, and they will change, they'll change from when you start in school to when you get out of school. But what you are doing right there is you're setting up what I call is your constitution. And once you get your constitution in place, it's like the constitution of this country. You don't change it. It's what we are built on. It's what we are built on. It's what your life is built on. And then everything else takes its place. You see, we go to school and we grab something, we learn something over here, or we go visit this doctor's office and we learn one thing over here, and we learn something down here, and we learn something over there. And all of a sudden you have this conglomeration of things, and you just throw them all together and you say, I've got it now. I'm going to go open my own office because I've got all this thing figured out. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. It really is. It's the farthest thing from the truth. So the idea here is to create a constitution for yourself. And that's by studying this material that we give you. There is so much, but there are literally millions of dollars worth of material in Chiropractic Foundations, in our website, in our resource center. The people that we have on the faculty are the best of the best. Okay. They've done it. They've been in the trenches. They learned from our forefathers. They've learned from BJ and DD, and they learned from Sigafus and from Dr. Reggie and all these guys. And what happens is you have an opportunity to learn from them. And that's what that's what Chiropractic Foundations offer. It offers you the chance to learn what chiropractic really is, how to practice chiropractic, when to practice chiropractic, how to grow a practice, how to become happy, how to become successful. But the first thing you have to do is you have to start sitting down and writing out, where do I want to be at the end of this 3.5 years, 4 years of school? Where do I want to be 5 years into school, into practice? Okay. That's the major thing. Think about this. Where do I want to be? What do I want to do when I get out of school? Where do I want to go open my own practice? Do I want to learn from somebody who's already doing what I want to do, which is what I did? I found somebody who was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I spent the next 2 years learning, and I gained 20 years of experience in my first 2 years because I picked a teacher. It showed me the way. It showed me how to do it so that when I left and went in and opened my own practice, all I had to do is replicate what I was doing. It was so easy. It was so easy to do. So my word to you today is, once you start the course, take the whole course, work it through all the way. And it's not just about chiropractic. It's about your personal life, because if your personal life isn't right, your chiropractic life's not going to be right. I can guarantee you that. If you're having troubles at home, it will reflect. It will reflect in your family. It'll reflect with your practice. It'll reflect with your finances. It reflects on everything. So the idea here is to have balance in your life. One of the things that I learned when I was in school by following a lot of very, very ultra successful chiropractors is the fact that, yes, they were ultra successful, but some of them were on their third and fourth wives. A couple of them were bankrupt. All right, one was in trouble with the IRS. I didn't want that. So I figured out, how can I have what they want, have what they have chiropractic wise, yet keep a balance. And that's where you have to have a goal sheet. That's where you have to have your constitution, all right, your purpose, your why, your goals, your mission statement. What am I here to do? All right. I want to make more money. No, that's great. But it's okay. If I gave you $1, now you've made more money. No, you have to be very specific in what you want. Know what you want to have. So some of you are going to say, I don't believe in goals. Most of the time, I'm going to tell you the reason you don't believe in goals is you're afraid to fail. Okay. And goals aren't failure. Goals, I always look at this. It's not winning and losing, right? It's winning and learning. Okay. What did you learn here? And when you learn, what's that do? That makes you better. And if you remember in the first podcast, we talked about, it's about getting better. And when you get better, you'll get bigger. That's what it's about. So getting better, even if you don't hit your goals on time, it's okay. We can't help time. Okay. We just had something here. I was hoping to have a lot of this stuff done, and we got hit with 2 hurricanes. My grandson had a appendicitis attack. My wife had some very serious health problems. We went through a whole lot just in a couple of weeks, a month, and it changes everything. Things happen. But you know what? I knew where I was going. I knew what I had to do. And I found the wee hours of the morning work best. I found inches of time here where I could keep inching forward just a little bit. And that's what you have to do. And if you got a bad day in the practice that day, or it rains all day, it snows and people can't get out, or so there's a major car accident right out front of your office and people can't get, you don't chalk it up to, I failed. This goal setting thing doesn't work. No. Tomorrow's a new day. We start working. So never, ever, 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 once you figure out what you want, and it's not just your goal, it's what excites you. It's what gets you up in the morning. Man, I still get excited after 45 years of doing this. I still get excited waking up in the morning knowing that somebody needs me today. And that's what it's all about. Somebody needs what I have today. My creator, who put me together, who gave me this talent that somehow I found, I did not know I had this talent, but I cultivated. And I was able to serve literally millions of people. and I have been. And I'm so grateful for that. And you have that chance too. But you only have that chance if you get better. And that's by coming to Chiropractic Foundations, signing up, getting on board, learning from the people who understand chiropractic better than we'll all understand. I've been doing this, and I've been posting these, and I've been putting these videos up. Every month you're going to get new videos on the science, the art, the philosophy, practice building, self-development. You're going to get, and I'm learning by just putting these things up there, watching them again. Okay. There's so many things here. If you got nothing out of this, if you just watched Reggie Gold's tape or Dr. Sid's tapes, if you just watch these recordings, you're going to get better. You can't help but get better just by learning and taking it all in. So that's my message for you today. Get into Chiropractic Foundations. Take the goal setting course. Get your mind focused so you're focused on one thing, so you're heading one direction. Okay. And I'm not saying you have to be, there's a lot of people that they balk at this thing called straight chiropractic or principal chiropractic or whatever it is. I'm not saying, don't even worry about that right now. Just understand that what you're going to learn here is chiropractic. Okay. It's not chiropractic proctology or chiropractic, whatever, respiratory diseases, whatever. It's chiropractic, and it applies to every single person on this planet. Right? So don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Open up your mind, learn the different levels of practicing until you can get to the top level. And that's what this place will do. It'll take you to the top level where you can practice chiropractic on every person in this world, because chiropractic works every single time if you're good enough in your practice. All right. Hey, my name is Rick Franks. Thank you for listening. I appreciate that. I hope it made some sense to you. I hope you'll come back and listen to some more podcasts. I got some really good stuff coming up here in the near future. And until then, just take care. God bless you.